Hello everyone, I'm back with another video. We're on a roll here, and this is kind of a good show to like the amount of effort I put into these videos. of, like, I just stream of consciousness, yap about these decks, my opinions on them and what they are and what I think about them. So this little deck here, because I already did my medieval enchantment tarot, and I'm about to do like 4 other videos, maybe, we'll see. But this here is actually a deck that really piqued my interest. I saw their Oracle decks, and I was like, meh. But then I saw a tarot, and I was like, oh, this I can get behind. So this is the Baddeley tarot. Baddeley? 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 I was, in one of my textbooks for my schoolwork, I came across, I think it was either in my, oh gosh, it was one of my 3 classes. I can't remember which one. I want to say psychology or anthropology. It would have to have been anthropology. That's where I did my most reading not too long ago. But, well, it might have been, no, it had to be psychology because I heard them. When I do my psychology, I listen to the book and I'll look at the text sometimes on the ebook that comes with the textbook. And this name was referenced. I think that it's a psychologist or therapist or something. I can't remember. I'll double check it, but the name came up and I'm like, oh, that's how you pronounce Baddeley. Baddeley? I can't remember now that I say. But anyways, this is a very beautiful deck. Like, aesthetically, it's right up my alley. Kind of in line with Medieval Enchantment or the Nigel Jackson Tarot. But this is much more like almost in line with Jose Gabriel's Alegría Sabogal, right? I believe he did a lot of occult books for Anathema Publishing. I like his art. I want him. I'm begging. At this point, I'm on my knees. I'm begging for him to make a tarot deck because I feel like it would look like this. Something like this, and this looks really, really cool. But this is a deck I think I may need. I fear it may end up like Tarot of the Holy Light because it's foundational to or related or adjacent to Tarot of the Holy Light. So, which is really what made me really fascinated by this because Blue Angel published this, and Blue Angel isn't one that I would go to for something like that. I would expect this deck to be published by US Games or Llewellyn, honestly. I would not expect Hay House or Blue Angel or, to publish a deck like this. But you know what? I think they did a pretty good job. The cardstock isn't too bad. Let me check something real quick. I was like, this has to have been, no, yeah. Which is surprising because Hay House has put out pretty good decks. I believe, I can't remember which one published the Sephiroth Tarot or the Heavenly Spheres. Right, is that what it's called? I'm so out of touch. My finger used to be right on the pulse on tarot. I could name whoever, who published when, what's going on, what's on Kickstarter, and what's not. Now, not so much. And y'all are doing it too. Let me tell you, y'all do not do your research on your cards. Basic, like, referential, bibliographical, like, type of research as to, like, when the deck was printed, who published it, how was it produced, where did it come from. That is information that is actually very useful for people that want to buy these decks. And it helps with quality control and knowing people are getting a legit product. Anyways, side tangent. Mindscapes is one of my favorite again. I think I've said it before. I think I said it in the live stream. In the video I did on it. I spent a whole hour talking about it, yapping about it, flipping through it, looking at it, gushing over it, singing its praises. If you guys want to enter a giveaway, by the way, end of the video, I'm doing something on that. So check that out on my Mindscapes tarot. I'm doing a giveaway on that. I forgot to mention it in my other video, but anyways, I don't want to announce it, but I also want to let people know. But also, it just kind of goes to show a nice little treat for the people who sat through and watched through the whole hour of the video. So, Yeah. Anyways, there's a way to enter the giveaway, but I'm not going to say it here. You got to go watch the video. Anyways, this deck, back to the Baddeley. Really, when I saw what was going on, I was like, oh. I wanted this to be the backs, by the way. I'm not a huge fan of the backs. Still gorgeous, just not... I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that I don't like about it. It's not bad, but it's just... I think I don't like the woman in it, you know? I think if it was just without the trees and without the woman, and it was just the sun with the stars and the moon, or the moon, I guess, radiating with the stars and the drops going onto it, that I think would have been just perfectly fine. But anyways, so I'm going to prepare and go off, not prepare, I'm going to go off on a limb and say that this deck is where the Gil Tarot is a stripped back Kabbalistic deck inspired by the Thoth and the Golden Dawn. The Baddeley is a deck that is like the Gil Tarot, but rather than the Golden Dawn and the Thoth, it's based off of an older system. So I think this is you could say that this is a stripped back, extremely stripped back Tarot of the Holy Light. It is more in line with that vein of tarot systems, much more in line with numerology and the planets. Not so much the zodiac, maybe, but it's there. Reading the book, I found it a little bit lacking in a way. It's missing something, but we'll see. And so, the book, I haven't taken the time to go fully through it, but there is quite a bit onto this, on these cards, and I kind of got the gist of the pattern of the system that Baddeley uses, because he doesn't just do a Rider-Waite-Smith, and he doesn't do a basic Marseille. He does something very Kabbalistic and very in line with what Tarot of the Holy Light does, only because I see, really, where is it? This right here is where I'm like, okay, yeah. A lot of Golden Dawn Tarot decks don't necessarily go by this diagram too much. Usually it's a little different. He does add the chakras in there, which kind of, I'm like, okay, that's where I'm like, okay, Blue Angel, I see what you're doing. I see you. I see you new agey stuff going on there. I guess, yeah, sure. Not to be like, oh, that shouldn't be in tarot, but rather it's more so like, yeah, typical, of course. Like, I don't know. It seems to maybe like want to draw in the yoga instructors that are that are getting curious about tarot into tarot maybe, but this is such a westernized tool. There might be a bit of conflict between the two, but anyways, there's more to it. My first impressions is I want to look more into it when I have the time to, especially with this guidebook. There are things in it that I'm like, that I want to fact check the book now. Especially in these days where you have something like where you see books or decks put out by people that use these very uniquely and very niche themes of tarot or branches of tarot or niche subjects of tarot, but not deliver on it. I think we see it a lot with, I'm gonna call it a name, just because I feel like it's a pattern of behavior that I've seen with all of the decks that they put out. I'm very curious about their decks, and I'm always like, oh, that might be a cool deck to have, and then I get it, and then I go through it, and I see the guidebook and the meanings of it, and I'm like, oh, this is a letdown. And I can't think of the name right now. Hold on. Yeah, Bloodstone Tarot, Bloodstone Studios, who is, who is oh my gosh, I can't find his name right now. Travis McHenry. There we go. I've of all of the decks that he's put out, they always turn out to be a letdown. That's not found in here. You do not find what's in this book in Travis McHenry's book. What you find in Travis McHenry's works is literally just, I think, paraphrasing Wikipedia articles about these subjects. Here, the level of what's going on here, I was like, okay. I like already just somewhat little bits I have. Just on the depictions alone, I'm like, okay, I can see that there's something going on more here than what you do. This is definitely a book that you kind of want to, okay, maybe let me sit down and actually read through this a bit, and to actually pay attention to what's going on here. However, the cards look simple enough to where we're just gonna start flipping through it. I've yapped enough about the pretext about this deck, so we can just go into it. Is that you can see there's a lot of influences going on here, but it's still based on this unique system. You're gonna see right now, like, it's not your typical traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, Marseille, Thoth. It's more based on the 15th century tarot, right? 15th or 16th? I believe 16th century, the 1500s, essentially. Those are a very strange order of major arcana, which definitely, again, this puts into question the order of the major arcana itself. Some of you might see this and think it's a typo. No, it's not. Temperance is 8 in these systems. And the virtues are all put together with justice at 9. Where's the hermit? Fortitude at 10. Where's the wheel of fortune? Here's the wheel of fortune at 11. And we have the hermit at 12, which still kind of matches up with the idea of the hanged man and looking and meditative, the meditative aspects of the hanged man, which here we have at 13, the hanged man, and death at 14, which 14, temperance, death, Scorpio, and Sagittarius, or yeah, Scorpio and Sagittarius having, like, there's something going on with those two in the tarot systems and their correspondences mixing up. But yeah, here we have the devil and the tower. Yeah, I love this star. I love the looks of these. I really, the aesthetics of them all. And I really wanted this deck, essentially. I'm really happy that I have this in my collection. Yeah, it's a crazy little deck here. And there's probably way more that I could say about it if I took the time, if I had the time to read through the guidebook and actually say it. But from what I've gathered, it's like the Gil Tarot, but for the Tarot of the Holy Light. And that's how I'm going to describe it from now on. Because, yeah. So you can see it can be a bit repetitive. That's one of the issues here, that there's quite a bit going on here. But I think what you can use this deck for is working with the planets, particularly. So the 3s all relate to Saturn because Binah is associated to the planet Saturn. So here we have them shown in different ways. The problem here, though, that I find interesting, and I'm curious about this, is the figures here. They're obviously all differently drawn. So they're each hand drawn. You can tell these or the Capricorn signs are all different. You can see Saturn is very different in every single depiction. Here we see him up close. We see him sitting, standing, doing different things, different Saturn. But in the different elements is how he's changed, which is kind of what I'm saying of when I talked about the medieval enchantment. Medieval enchanted, the Nigel Jackson tarot, is the court cards. I wanted something like this going on, where sure, it's like a similar figure repeated, but variated or differentiated across the different suits, and how he plays out in those different elements. Here we have the 4s, which are all Jupiter, We have a horned Jupiter, which I think is like, who is it? There's a thing to that. I think he's like, it's like an Egyptian Hellenistic. It might be a Hellenistic, carryover maybe. And here we have Sagittarius with Pisces at the bottom, which I kind of wish was like a little different, but I think that's to kind of help with rulership memorization. Like, hey, this is Jupiter, Sagittarius, Pisces. Yeah. And then we have the fives with Mars, the warrior. Here he's like removing his armor because he is in fire, which Aries is his like element there. Cups with Scorpio, that's also his element, but here he's more armored. The swords, he's not in his element in air and in earth. Those are Venusian ruled elements. So we could see that he's probably not, the elemental interplay is a little different there. That's just me. Again, I don't know if he goes into that in the book. I don't know if that's expressed in here explicitly, intentionally, but that's just my assumptions going on into here. What I would have liked is instead, there's something that I'll save it for later. I'll save it for later. Oh right, he's not giving. Well, here's a little issue here. So we have air for wands and fire for swords, and that kind of gets in the way of what I was saying, fire for Aries and all that. So I wonder then if air is stripping him back then. Okay, that would make, then that would mean fire for these. I don't know. I wish there was more cohesion with that consideration with the elemental the correspondences with the planets and all that. Very interesting how we have I believe it's supposed to be a phoenix eating a serpent. Or it's no, it's not an eagle. Eagles don't necessarily aren't depicted like that usually. And then we have Venus with the sevens, with Taurus and Libra. And here she is with Cupid. And by herself. Cupid again, or maybe a different child, and with a burning heart and the coins. And then the eights with Mercury. This is a very typical mercurial figure, or typical depiction of Mercury here. I like him holding the wings here. There's things to be read in here, but how one would read it, yeah, it's interesting. I think if you do a lot of planetary work, or you work with the Greek gods and goddesses, or the Roman gods and goddesses, you could probably work with this deck in an interesting way, especially with how they work with numerology and the astrology corresponding to it. Here we have the 10. I believe this is Gaia then, because it's Earth. I love her. Love her. One other thing, now that we're getting to the end of this, is that I wish the cards were bigger. I wish the cards were designed like the medieval enchanted, the Nigel Jackson tarot. So yeah, here we have the page. The page is here. A very relaxed page. I guess you could say that these are more the people cards, I guess. I would want to. And whereas the planets and the numbers are like forces that influence the people, in a way. Then we have here the knights, which remind me of the coat of arms in the Splendor Solis in its depictions. Here we have the queen. So here's what I'm talking about here. Very, very variated. If you look at, again, go to the court card section in my Nigel Jackson tarot walkthrough, and you're going to hear me yap about this, is though the queen's, even in this black and white and deck, you can see that the court cards there's variation amongst them, even though they're all like portraitures of people. You can see that the four queens have different expressions and different temperaments in how they're depicted within this tarot. The same with the kings. Like, you can see the expressions are different within the wands and the coins versus the swords and the cups. It's It's all there, and I like the details. But I wish, what I wish we didn't have were these two parts. Will I trim this? I don't know. Maybe. This looks like a deck that is like, I think if you want, I think this is one of those decks that you can practice trimming with, I think. Because one, it's mass produced, but two, it's not that cheap. I think they should release a deck only version, maybe. But I think the book is kind of integral to it, so I don't think this doesn't look like a deck that you would need. I'll have to see. We'll see right now. We'll see how it reads. We'll see what I pick up on it when I do my little interview spread for it. But I wish the cards were a little bit wider, a little more square. The cardstock is matte. It's like I would describe it as like almost like it feels fluffy, I think. It's thick. And I might edge the cards. Maybe this one I might edge in like a tan or like a distressed, like to make it, give it like a little worn out look. I would have also liked maybe like a little bit of some tanning or aging going on in the colors of the paper here. This looks a little too clean white, maybe, I think. It would add to the aesthetic. It would add to the aesthetic of hey, this is an ancient lore within the tarot of what, but I think it's just more so a niche little sub theory, sub niche within the tarot. Like I said, tarot is so niche already. This is just an even deeper part in the iceberg of tarot. So let's see. What is the soul of tarot? So if you want to look more into like what this is, I believe you can look into Cultural History of the Tarot by Helen Farley, I believe is her name, and the Mystical Origins of the Tarot by Dai Leon. But Dai Leon's book was really, I tried to read it, but it was really, I wasn't sure what I was getting into. I wasn't sure what I could anticipate from this book, and I'm like, I just couldn't. It's a big book. It's a weird format. It was anyways. But that also touches and references this era of tarot. I think also Tarot Sheet Revival also does decks in this system, similar to this system. I believe Robert and Place also has stuff. Hey, no, please don't. That's mine. Thank you. Not for you. He said, where did it go? Oh, no, that's also not for you. Sorry, I'm moving stuff around here. Sorry, I have a cat now, and he likes to play with my hair ties. I rubber band my little, and he's what are you looking for? It's not there. I moved it. Look, it's gone. It's not there anymore. No, Gibbs, no, Pepper, no. Yeah, who all enjoyed that in White Lotus? Piper, no. Okay. Let's focus here. What is the soul of tarot? Let's see what the Baddeley Tarot says on this. What is the soul of tarot? Oh, the Queen of Coins. Interesting. Very practical. Very earthy. We'll see here. There's a Jupiter energy with like the arrows, the lightning bolt arrows here. Or the arrows? Maybe. let's see. What does it express openly? What does the tarot express openly? Yeah, it's telling me to stop shuffling. What does the tarot express openly? The Queen of... girl, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say, Mr. Baddeley? What mysteries do you contain? What mysteries does the tarot contain? What mysteries does the tarot contain? The Six of Coins. A very practical matters here. Almost like it wants to be, just based off of this, it looks like it wants to be read how I would probably read with the Thoth. The Thoth, like, I feel like wants to be read for really more like practical matters. And I think this one is kind of lining up to be that. It may also be more of a study deck. Which I kind of don't need at the moment. Especially for a system like this. It's a very unique system, but I think this is one that I think people can probably learn to work with. I think this would be a good deck to help people transition from Rider-Waite-Smith to Marseille or more, or to break out of tarot systems. But however, it might be a lot of reading, and I need to check on the information on this book and how well researched it is, and if it's good. Because a lot of, again, if you know anything with like how new agey publications can be, it can be. It's really, when you don't get bibliographies or indexes, it kind of puts into question the quality of the information that you put in your books. But that's just me. Moving on. What is the gift of tarot? What is the gift of tarot? Look at it. She doesn't want to shuffle right. I think this is one that has to go. I'm just kidding. I'm going to hold on to this for a while. What gift does tarot give? Oh! Isn't that beautiful? Sometimes I'll look at the bottom of the deck, but for this, I don't think so. And sometimes I'll do reversals. But for some reason with the interview spread, especially with new decks, I don't. Especially with decks I'm not 100% fully comfortable with. You know, Tarot of the Holy Light is one of those. But I refuse to give up on that deck. I refuse to move her along. I feel like I can get a grasp on her, but I think I just need to. There's something that needs to be done. I feel like it's like itching to become like my Mary, like a Mary L to me. And I was like, if I was able to grasp the Mary L in a way, Tarot of the Holy Light shouldn't be too hard either. But anyways, so yeah, I would say that this deck, the Baddeley Tarot, and I would say even like this one as well. This is the Renaissance Tarot, and the let's see, and this one, the Nigel Jackson Tarot, probably could all be in the same vein. The Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery and the Alchemical Tarot as well. And again, Nigel Jackson's Rose Tarot also would fit in. What else? Tarot of the Holy Light, like I said. Historical decks. Historical esoteric decks, I should say. Because historical decks could be like the Tarocco Neoclassico, or the Minchiari, or the Sopraffino, or the Visconti Sforza, or the Solabusca. You know, those can be historical. But I think Solabusca is like esoteric, but to the point to where we've kind of lost what exactly is being said in that deck, maybe? I have to read the Game of Saturn. I'll get to it whenever I can. I have other things to do. So yeah, this has been a walkthrough of the Baddeley Tarot. I don't know if I'll get his Oracle decks, but I will say I'm really liking this. I wish it was more square, like I said. I wish the backs were a little different. And I hope the book doesn't let me down. We'll see. We'll see what I get from it. when I get the time to read through it. But again, a tarot book, it's like, you want to hesitate. I hesitate reading another tarot guidebook because it's like, you can only reread things that you already know and anticipate to know what it's going to mean. Like, you know, like you read, to read the meanings of the cards so many times, it's like, okay, what else are we doing? Like, what else can we do? Like, this is why I like books, tarot books that have exercises and activities and different approaches other than just this is what the card means. I really want to see. I hope he gets into the description of the details and the design of the deck itself and why he painted them that way or illustrated them that way. So yeah. There you go. I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell when I upload or go live again. And I will see you all in the next video. Again, check out my Mindscapes Tarot video because I have a giveaway going on there. So go check it out. I don't know when I'll close it. I'll see. We'll see. When I get like, I don't know, maybe 20 entries. If that. Anyways, thank you everyone. Bye-bye.